I'd like to welcome everyone here, and we'll begin by standing for a moment of silence, followed by Pledge of Allegiance.
It's the same principle. Oh, we're starting?
Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Could I have a roll call, please?
Brad Hint.
Here.
Ken Snyder.
Here.
Pete Hamill.
Here.
Chantel Ostra. Here. Tom Eggers.
Here.
Next item up is our approval of the agenda. I'll take a motion for that.
So move. Support.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Snyder.
Aye.
Hamill.
Aye.
Ostra. Aye. Eggers.
Aye.
Hint.
Aye.
We now move into the public forum portion of our meeting. If you are here and want to address the council regarding either the Sheldon Crossing incentive or the SADC resolution, I would ask that you wait until we get to those items later on in the meeting. If there's anything else that you have today that you would like to address the council with, now would be your time. Have we had any written comments?
None.
Okay. Then I would like to move on to the consent agenda. Take approval for that.
Move to accept the consent agenda.
Support.
Any comments or discussion? Roll call, please.
Eggers.
Aye.
Hamill.
Aye.
Ostra. Aye. Snyder.
Aye.
Hint.
Aye.
We just covered a lot of ground there. Now let's move into old business. Now, first item up is the Sheldon Housing Incentive. I'd like to open the public hearing for that at this time. This is, the first item is item 5A, the Sheldon Crossing Housing Incentive. That'll be on the back side of your, back page 2 of your agenda there. We'll open the public hearing on that. You want to address? Yes, you certainly may. Yeah, that would be your time. Come up to the mic, state your name and address for the record.
Tom Van Dyke, address 910 Prairie Trail Road. I'd like to thank the council for this opportunity to speak. First thing I'd like to do is thank you for hiring a local person to be our chief of police. I think you made a wise decision in doing that. And saying that, on the dollar lots, I'm not opposed to doing that. But if the council would consider doing something similar to what Orange City and Sioux Center do, if city money is involved, they have local contractors to work on it. And if the council would consider that, that'd be good. Okay, and that's all I have.
Very good. Thank you,
Okay.
Tom. Anyone else? Marv?
Yeah, Marv Van Riesen, Sheldon, Iowa. I'm talking in reference to the lots that you want to sell. I'm not sure which one, doesn't make any difference. You gotta go back a few number of years when it started, and I was at the council then, and when they developed that thing. And the big question was then, and the council said then, they were not going to give them lots away. And a dollar, that's exactly what it's doing. I know there's been some construction out there, and today it seems to be some unfairness of it, because when you look at it, if you sell these for a dollar, there's a couple out there now I know building a home, just out of college, first time home buyer. They paid full bore. Are you gonna pay them a dollar or give them all their money back except for a dollar? We have another resident sitting in the crowd here, same issue. But I just think it's a sad, bad precedent. If we're gonna do some more development for housing, are we gonna start another one and start giving lots away again? I don't believe we can afford that, to be given away like that. That's really not the American way. I pay for my own property, and I think we gotta somewhat stick to this deal. It's just setting a bad precedent. I can hear it already. down the road, you start another project, it's gonna happen. Well, they're not selling, and all this stuff. So let's hurry up and try to jumpstart. And people buying them lots, who are buying them? If it's a first-time home buyer, and they put up their own home and their sweat and blood, I don't have any problem with that, I guess. But when contractors are buying them, they're making money on, they're not really discounting them lots at all. They're the ones making money on the lots, whether you realize it or not. So I would encourage you not to approve that. Keep them on the market, figure out some other way, incentive to have them buy them, a first-time home buyer. Maybe you might look at, are there any restrictions on how you build, what you put on the house, brick or whatever, if you can lower that down to keep the costs down a little bit? Because that's a big problem out there. If you put all brick on them, it's gonna cost a lot more money. So, that's something I just wanna share with the council at that particular time. Are there any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Marv.
Ron Link, Sheldon. I just bought a lot this spring and putting up a home now. I wonder am I gonna get my money back except for $1? Feel like I've been took. Welcome to Sheldon.
Thank you, Ron. Anyone else? Okay.
Jeff Wagner, 313 23rd Avenue. I want to just remind us that $1 for a lot is really great, but our goal is to increase our employment base in Sheldon and draw people in here. And originally our goal was to try to move people up through the housing steps, buying up to a bigger house and a bigger house. So while this incentive is great, I'm asking that we start looking at how do we help people get into entry-level homes so we can get employees coming to town. We put a lot of focus on rental properties, getting people to rent a home, to come here. But we need people to start families, and we need to grow our employment base. And I don't know that this in and of itself is enough to really do that. And the second thing is, I really think that as we start looking at houses and giving lots away for $1, we need to put some valuation on how much the house costs. And so if we're looking at TIF and the value of the house and saying we're getting a long-term investment in our tax base, we should be giving more incentive to the more expensive the house is because we got a better return on that investment that we gave away in the first place, instead of saying it's only X amount of dollars. So I think this is a great move. I just don't think it's enough to get us where we need to be.
Thank you, Jeff. Anyone else?
My name is Mark Tenclay, 721 25th Avenue is where I reside. I'm a firm believer in this dollar lot. We've sat with these lots as a city for, don't quote me, 10 years plus. Return on investment. I'm a business guy. We've gotten zero back out of these lots. We need to get some people into new housing. Going to open up the housing market down the road, that $100,000 house, maybe that rental house. So what we're going to do top down here is get people into the community to build a lot, give them some incentive to come to Sheldon. Let's get this 5,000 population, get it rolling. We have lots, let's get people building on them. Like Tom said, support the local contractors. We've got a great base of contractors. These other gentlemen bring up good facts too. I buy a car today, there's a rebate comes out tomorrow, I don't get money back. It's when you purchase the item. So 6 one, half a dozen other, but I'm very much in for getting people, getting shovels in the ground and getting these houses going. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Anyone else? Take a motion then to close the hearing.
So moved.
Support.
Roll call, please.
Hamel.
Aye.
Hint.
Aye.
Eggers.
Aye.
Snyder.
All right.
Ostrom. Aye.
All right, I'd like to open up the floor now for discussion and further direction.
Couple of comments.
Certainly.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple of points. The first is there's a letter from Corey Elgersma attached to the agenda item, and also
Microphone needs to be on.
oh,
Strange deal. Okay, here we go.
all right. So There's a letter from Corey Elgersman attached to the agenda and also from Justin Jonas. I wanted to make sure you're aware of those. The other thing is, I have a question for Tom Van Dyke, if you don't mind me asking it. You brought up the idea of requiring local contractors. Is that in your experience, is that 100% requirement or just for the general, or how do we do it so it's not too bureaucratic? Do you know how?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I know I was trying to get involved in a couple of different projects in the city, and they said it has to be a local contractor, so Cole Construction did. As far as, there's another contractor.
Tom, could I ask you to come to the mic, please, so we can get this, for those that are listening in?
There was two instances that I was trying to get involved in Orange City, and I could not because I was not from the city. So Kroll Construction did them.
Okay.
And then a Sioux Center official approached another contractor that I know and said, if you move to Sioux Center, you will get our business. If you do not, we will not, because we have the local people do it. So that's what I know. I don't know to what extent, but I think it's a good idea to, support those who pay taxes in this town, and so that's why I thought it'd be something you could consider.
Okay.
Yes?
Do you know if I could ask a follow-up? Do you know if that applied, Tom, to the subcontractors too, or was it?
I have no idea. None.
Thank
No.
you.
Anyone else wish to speak?
Tania Herrera, the Executive Director for the SCDC. I just want to make a few quick comments on the purpose for this incentive. The purpose was expressed at the last meeting as well, but I just want to remind everyone that the purpose of this incentive is to encourage further development in the Sheldon Crossing area and just take advantage of the space that we have out there. We already have some interest in the incentives since the last council meeting, and that is from both local families or people that are looking to start families here in Sheldon, and also people from surrounding communities. Even as far as Pennsylvania, we've received phone calls of people wanting to move to Sheldon through this incentive. So I just want to bring forth that there is interest in that. It will help bring families and help families start here in Sheldon and get settled down. Thank you.
Any comments from council?
I'm still not for it. Rebate, I've had rebate buying a car, but I've never had the rebate take my car price down to $1. I can understand some rebates, I can understand a discount. I even like the idea, Tom, if we have a contractor from town doing it, doing something like that, adding that to it. I have no problem with that. I'm not into government. I guess government financing is totally different than my personal finances. But we've got costs. These are smaller lots, like I said last time. I don't mind a discount. I don't mind incentives. But to give something away for $1 that we've got that much invested in, to me, it doesn't make sense. We have a realtor that's for it, I know. I've talked to several realtors. Not one of them thought it was a good idea. I've talked to businessmen, I've talked to bankers, I've talked to people on the street. Everybody that's come to me, and which I don't see everybody, but I have, the closest I came is one businessman said, I can see the value in both. So I just don't understand taking it all the way down to $1. I can understand discounting these prices to get it going. I wouldn't even mind working a deal with the contractors local. I've read all the materials, everything you guys have sent me, but out on the street, personally, I've had no one think it's a good idea. And I personally have never thought that was a good idea.
Guess we're on kind of the extremes, because I've had a number of people over the last 2 weeks encourage this project to get houses built, get trickle-down economy, get people moving out of other houses. I've had a realtor, a couple of them I talked to, they're in favor of it. Talked to the bank next door. The banker thought it was a good idea to get it going. We've been on these lots for 10 years. They're small. And a year ago, we gave the north lots away for $1, and we gave them $10,000 a unit. So we're not setting the precedence. We've already done it. In the Sunshine Edition, we gave the lots away, then we turned around and we gave them a tax abatement. So that was several years back that happened. I think it's a win-win for the community. Do you take the risk of buying lots early to get the prime lot you want? These are smaller lots. I think it's just a win for the city. We're never going to recoup our total cost. We've already lost our money sitting on them for 10-plus years. So let's get some revenue out of them, get some tax base, increase the population. That's going to help the school. It's going to help their business owners. That's my 2 cents. I like Tom's idea about local contractor. I don't know if we have time to change that or not. But we need to think more than today. We need to think years away. And this is building houses for the future.
So we're going to continue giving these away as, well, we haven't sold over here that we bought. So we're going to continue, and people are going to wait us out.
We've done it in the Sunshine Edition.
Well,
We've done it in the Sheldon Crossing a year ago. We've done it with industrial lots.
The Sheldon, that was a whole different, we had different reasons for that one over there.
This is the same reason.
No.
This is to develop houses.
That was because of the location of the lots. We
Okay.
discussed them
That-
other issues.
We have difference of opinion, Ken. We need to look at the
But
future.
I think we could go with some kind of discount, add Tom's thought in there. Sale price, we're from this area, people like good sales. But giveaways, I haven't been convinced.
Okay. Anyone else?
I also agree that I like Tom's thoughts using local contractors. Brad brought it up at the last meeting, using, Brad could get people in buying appliances and things like, our local lumberyard, and if we could get the business here in town, I do like that thought. So I don't know if there's any way to look at revamping it a little bit.
Okay.
I would just add that some of the comments made today shows some forward thinking and opportunity to take a look at how we incentivize. I'm not really sure that I'm hearing anyone except maybe Ken saying that incentivizing does not make sense. It may be seen by some as not being fair, but if you had your money in those lots for the past 10 years, you would be thinking that you put your money in the wrong place. So it would not have been a good investment. So if you could sell it for $1, your investment, and then get back $3,000 a year off of that, you might take that up. You might think that's a pretty good deal after 10 years. But I do think that maybe there's some opportunity to take a look at what kind of housing maybe we could tie in to some of these promotions that would meet some of our lower income objectives that we've talked about at the SCDC level, on the council level for years. I I think there's some opportunity maybe to work with local contractors, maybe to get some additional buy-in from them, you know, so that they take the incentive and take part of the risk a little bit as well. I don't know, you know, how that sounds to you, Tom, but I think when you're looking at building a partnership, you build a partnership. And if we're looking at first-time buyers, that's a longer-term investment, because we're looking at younger folks coming in who are going to spend a lot of money during their lifetime in Sheldon, Iowa. So I would say that I think there's opportunity for further discussion. I think I would like to table it at the council level and return it back to SEDC to consider some of these options. Maybe bring a little bit more of a full-throated plan back. But I am in favor of any kind of a incentive for growth. The reason that Sheldon is a better town today than it was yesterday is because we're growing, and we need to keep that going. And I think you guys all see that in our surrounding communities that are experiencing growth. That's a very powerful thing for everyone, including the taxpayer who lives in Sheldon today. So that would be my suggestion, and is to table it for the council level, return it back to SEDC, see how some of these opportunities might fit, and then bring it back for reconsideration.
What in the end do you want the SEDC to come back with?
Just to see once if there isn't some extra direction we could add to the incentive. I'm not saying we change it from $1 to $5,000, anything like that. I'm saying is there some stipulation that would provide a little better return possibly overall for the vision of housing needs in Sheldon?
So maybe this is for Tanya. We haven't officially listed these lots for $1 and marketed them yet, have we?
No, so this, it has been public knowledge. Through the city council meeting, the previous city council meeting, it was made public knowledge. And on the term sheet, it did have previously an October date to start taking offers. That has been adjusted to November, but we have received interest and unofficial offers already, but none of them are legally binding, as we are still working out some of the details, especially at the city council level. But they have not been officially listed and marketed as $1.
That's because it's still sitting as a proposal in front of the council.
Correct.
Right.
And the people that have expressed interest and have brought forth letters and potential offers have been made aware that it is still sitting at the city council level for decision.
Okay. So I guess what I'm thinking, Brad, is we got a little time to just talk about it a little further with some of these suggestions that we've heard tonight, and just seeing once if there's a little more depth to it. So.
I like the idea of tabling it. I'm not excited about the project as it goes now. You mentioned precedent. The precedent, if there's been a precedent, and this is commercial property, industrial property, but we always talked about a 7-year payback. It's been the guideline for whether we accept a product or not, or accept an investor to come in, build a building or whatever. It's always talking about a 7-year payback, a 7-year payback. And that was kind of the determiner whether or not to award the incentives that they were asking for. When I have slow-moving stock, I mark it down, and I start with, we start with a discount of 20, 30% maybe, not 100, not 99%. We don't mark it down to $1. That's when it's been on the shelf for a long time. And my product and property are two different things too, so it doesn't always hold that way, but we've had comments for, we've had comments against. Somewhere in here, I think there's some middle ground that would make more sense in my mind. And so in terms of the city, or what the SEDC should do, I would like you to consider it. How much marketing has taken place of these lots beyond listing them with the realtors? Has there been any more aggressive marketing, posting on Facebook, listing them in advertisements, anything like that?
It's been marketed for years.
Yeah,
We've
how
continually
has it
keep
been,
marketing.
how?
They've had flyers out over the years with an incentive, a flyer package that shows all the lots that are available.
Okay.
And
Could that
the
marketing
Sunshine
campaign be
Edition,
stepped up?
We tax abated those, so we didn't get a 7-year payback on those. When you gave them $1 and then you tax abated them again, we
But the
didn't get any
ground
money
came
on
at a
that.
much lower cost back then too, because the developer went bankrupt.
But yeah, but
So the
we
input
got
costs
people
were
that are
considerably
interested.
less.
We have 5 people that are interested in these lots. That could be 5 houses. And if they don't build on them in 3 years, that 4th year, we have the option to buy them back at $1. So I think there's some pretty good strings attached to it. I guess, do we want to grow the town, or do you want to stay where we're at? And I think...
I don't think that's a
majority
fair
of the-
question to ask.
No. I think it's a fair
I
question.
think everybody
yeah.
wants to grow the town. That, and you know that too. Everybody sitting up here wants to grow the town. To
How
say
many
that's
lots
the
have we
difference
had
between
sold
growing the
out
town or
there,
not is not a
Tom?
fair question.
In the last year, 2 years, how many lots have sold?
It's right here
and
on your
houses?
map.
Aside from the duplex lots, and we also show that in some of the letters, 2 to 3 lots are sold a year.
I think we all agree that we want to move lots. I just want to, and I'm part of the SDC. I'm part of the decision that brought the proposal to this board, to this council. So it's not that I'm against the incentive, but I do think that I'm hearing some ideas that have not been discussed at the SCDC level. And that does have merit in when we're looking at what our vision is for adding additional housing to the community. Now, whether or not these ideas in the end pan out or not, I don't know, but I'd like to have more discussion than what we're having tonight on it in an environment that provides other inputs from other people within the community as well. And I think we can afford a little time in order to weed that through and vet that out. And in the end, if it still looks like today's proposal is the best, I'll support that. And when it comes back again, but I do believe that there's some merit in what I'm hearing tonight. So that's the basis for my comments.
Tom, since the horse has been let out of the barn, do you think we can put it back in? I mean, we've been let out there for $1.
No,
The horse has been out of the barn.
he's still tethered.
Good. I would I would say, if anything, I think we would say this would be it for that. I mean, if we can't do anything else, this would be all we're going to do like this, you know. We're not going to keep giving. We can't keep giving.
Well, I think we have to continue incentivizing, no question about it.
I have no problem with that.
What that
Yeah.
amounts to, I don't know.
That's what the discussion, that's what we
I
want to
guess,
discuss.
I think we're headed into winter. Maybe we'll get it this year, I don't know. So I think we do have some time to at least see what kind of creativity can be applied
And if that doesn't work, then we can always come back to this. But to me, this is a last-ditch kind of an effort. I don't think it would hurt to come back with if there are any alternative proposals. I would like to know more about what competitive communities are doing as far as working with contractors, that kind of thing. I don't think this is an emergency topic right now, so I would entertain that.
So, anyone else want to comment on it, or we?
No, I just want to say I agree that we need to do some sort of an incentive, but I do really like the idea of looking into using local contractors.
Okay.
So,
Tom, you expressed the initial idea of tabling it. Would you care to make that as a motion?
Yeah, I'll move that we table it, send it back to SCDC for further discussion and to explore some opportunities that we've heard here tonight and maybe some additionals, so, yeah.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there support for that?
I'll support that. Support.
Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Hamel.
Aye.
Ostra.
aye.
Hint.
Aye.
Snyder.
Aye.
Eggers.
Aye.
All right, let's move on then to item B, the SEDC resolution. I'd like to open a public hearing on that. Is there anyone wishing to address the council regarding that? Yes.
Yeah, Marvin Reese and Sheldon. Yeah, I've seen that resolution. If I'm correct, is this right? Sam answered some of my questions about you want to give SEDC a $600,000, is that correct? Is that how that'd work?
I should probably answer this at the end, to get all the questions first, or do you want to do? I'm okay.
And that'd be
It's
for
up to
purchase
you
of
as
land,
chair.
we
Go
understand.
ahead, answer the question.
Can you ask it again?
I can't hear you, Sam.
Can you ask it again?
Yeah, you want to give SEDC a $600,000, is that correct, for purchase land for future development, is that correct? If I got it right.
You do. Let me get the amount. Yeah, if you look at the resolution that's linked, number 4 on page 2, is there was a proceeds of land sale, Marv, for $646,337.50. The proceeds for that land sale, when that came in back to the city, Angie and I had that put in a separate account that's earning interest so that it just didn't go into the regular city coffers. And we kept it in that separate account because that money is tied to land options that are in, or options to purchase that are in, or a right of first refusal that are in SCDC's name. So the idea behind this part of the resolution, there's other pieces to it, but the idea behind this part of the resolution is SCDC has the authority to exercise, but the city has the money, and there's only a certain amount of time that you have to exercise land options. And so the idea behind this is to, in a transparent way, get the money to them now. They're accountable for it. It'll continue to earn interest. And then if there's a time where that land option can be exercised, then they can move immediately and exercise. So that's what was behind that part of it. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay.
I guess SEDC, you can't hamstring them. It's not like you're getting low on lots for housing. So I got to understand that part of it. And that's for future, I gather. Maybe maybe need more land, maybe you don't. Maybe you could purchase some more of that land back from Rice Fest on the south side. If you remember right, that was supposed to be for housing years ago. That just maybe an option, and you could build something right away there if you have to. That we consider, but SCDC could always look into that, I guess. But I guess I think SCDC's been pretty transparent when I call them and different things and ask questions. There's plenty of wise people on the SCDC board that they can be transparent enough to not hide anything that be on the political realm, I think. So I guess you can't be against everything either, but that land, as long as that money, I found it kind of strange that all that money was laying in there all those years and why it wasn't put on the tax rolls is what I was sitting there wondering, you know. Is all that land cleared and paid for then with notes and the bonds and so forth?
Well, the land is on the tax rolls.
Yes,
It's
but
the-
is when you sold that property, is it off the bonds? In other words, there's no debt against it?
Yes, that bond is paid for.
Pardon me?
That bond is paid for.
Everything's paid off and that road out, so everything's paid, so it's actually clear money that you can.
The bond is
Well,
paid for, yep.
That's a good part of it. At least we got the money, we don't have to raise taxes to get that money for it. So in that case, I guess, Todd, you're right, so you're not hamstringing SEDC, they can go forward that way. I think that'd be a fair assumption. I think maybe they might be able to build a nice little addition for low income that way also, or the first time home buyer. That's all about I got for that, okay?
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to address council on this matter?
Jeff Wagner in 313 23rd Avenue. I'm not the smartest guy, so I can't quite follow this whole thing through. So the SEDC sold the land for $600,000. They have the $600,000 in reserves in case they need to buy that land back again. Is that right? So then how do you spend that $600,000 to buy some other land that you've got to hold on to the reserves for in the first place in case you have to pay that back again? And if the SCDC needs money to execute a purchase quickly, couldn't we just extend a line of credit to the SCDC to execute something if and when that time comes? And secondly, the thing I really don't understand is this is part of a bigger conversation about changing the way we fund the SCDC. Correct? Just a yes or no?
No, it's right now we have a series of transactions. This puts things more in one place, so it's more transparent and available for everybody to see.
But how does it become, I'm a transparency guy, be a newspaper guy, I'm a transparency guy. When we give it to the SCDC, there no longer is any transparency. And you heard me say earlier, we need growth. We need to grow this community quickly. So I'm not against that. I just don't see how this is creating transparency. I don't see how it's creating the $600,000 is part, you said, Sam, it's part to fund the SCDC. And they can get the reserve, the interest off the $600,000.
Right.
My simple question is, if we change the relationship with the SCDC, does that allow us ultimately to use TIF and urban renewal dollars to fund the SCDC instead of general obligation or general fund monies? And is that part of the bigger goal of what we're trying to accomplish is changing that relationship? Because we're also giving money to the SCDC every year to fund it, but we really don't know where that money's coming from or how much it is. There is really no, I love the SCDC. I'm in favor of it. I just don't think there's enough transparency in what we're doing, and this is one more move away from transparency. So that's my thought.
Yes. So TIF has been used to fund SCDC for some time. So the $45,000 that has been provided annually as part of the urban renewal or TIF plan to SCDC, that $45,000 used to be $45,000 from TIF, and then you had benefits and other things that were coming to the tune of $50,000 from the trust and agency levy, which is general property taxes. And so we don't have that $50,000 coming from general property taxes anymore. We're now going from $45,000 to $130,000, so that SCDC can also fund other parts of their budget as well, which is discussed during the budget workshops. And so we're able to free up an entire benefits package by doing that, that I disclosed to the council publicly at a hearing, at the budget hearing, that this allows us to pay for another police officer once the federal grant ran out through the Department of Justice, because you freed up an entire benefits package that was in the trust and agency levy. So there were multiple benefits to doing this. And I've had people describe the back and forth of money from SCDC to the city and vice versa as being hard to understand. And this, I wouldn't call this a constitution or a founding document or anything like this, but what it is it lays out, instead of piecemeal resolutions, it lays out several important endeavors at one time. One, it lays out going from the 45,000 to the 130. That was already discussed in the budget. Number two, it talks about the money that was attached to, that came back. I think that 671,000 that we received was a payback based on $18,125 an acre, which is why it came back to the city. And that money would have to be the seed money for a purchase if that ground ever came available. So then we could transfer that account. Then there's also the 671,000, which is referred to in the budget. That would be different money in urban renewal that could be used to exercise the Granster options east and north of the current co-op. So you have several things that have all been packaged together and well explained in one resolution subject to a public hearing, and it puts it all in one place. Is that the end of it? No, because the relationship continues. There will continue to be land that needs to be purchased. There will continue to be land that needs to be developed, that will need infrastructure that's going to have a cost to it. But this is less piecemeal.
Can I follow up, Chris?
Certainly.
So I'm still a little confused. So we have $600,000 that we're going to take the interest from to help fund the SCDC, $135,000, right? But if we invest that $600,000 in something else, there's no interest to help fund the SCDC. So it seems like we can't use that money for two different things. We're actually hamstringing the SCDC long-term by saying you have to hold on to that $600,000 and don't invest it because we're funding part of your benefits with the earnings from the $600,000. Is that what I'm hearing? I know you don't have to answer me, but I'm just confused.
Okay, let me just briefly summarize. So number one, the amount of $130,000 is hereby directed to be released as part of the current city budget, and that's to fund SCDC operations. The funding source for that is urban renewal, or TIF. Number two, consistent with TIF, or the adopted plan, the $671,125, which is in addition to the 130, that's allocated for land purchases for the Granster options east and north of Crossroads, would then be transferred to a new fund within SCDC, subject to availability, et cetera. And that's well explained in the resolution. I won't bore you by reading the whole thing. And then you've got number three, the reimbursement arrangement, which has helped bring us here tonight for the 7 lots, of paying back the city of proceeds beyond the $18,125 an acre, would be voided, and SCDC would be authorized to retain those funds to be used for acquisition, blight remediation, construction, etc. And then you've got the transfer of the sales of proceeds from land. This is the Rise Fest proceeds, estimated at $646 and change. That would be transferred. So ultimately, you're talking about $1.3 million moving from city accounts to SCDC, and only $130,000 of it has been really discussed prior to this hearing, and that is what was discussed in the budget.
I have a question. I'm a little bit confused too.
Mike?
I'm a little bit confused on that. That I just assumed that was gonna be for sure. Is there a plan? I guess there's a plan that they wanna buy some property to put some for housing. That's what I assumed. I might be wrong. Am I right there or not? Is there a plan that's in place that they have, that they wanna buy X amount of acres and start a new development?
There is no set plan.
Not at this time. But if they get this, are they gonna have a plan? That's the point. And if they do get a plan, they're gonna present it to the public so we know for transparency as we go forward as a public. In other words, it's not $1 million laying there and I ask, and they tell me, well, it's none of your business. See, that happened before, years ago. When we have money invested there, we should know, the public should know what's going on, I think. Is that gonna be the same way? We're gonna be kept in the loop?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, well, I would say yes, but at the very beginning of it, the answer to that might be no. There has to be a negotiation, but ultimately, like, I'll give you an example. One of the things that, if you look at number 4, where let's say the 671 in number 2, let's say that that's transferred over. And that 671, let's say you have land options that to exercise, it would be $1.1 million. Well, you'd have to take out a loan for the remainder. So you use the 671, and then you can take out a note on the rest, and then you have other communities, for example, Lamar's, they buy much larger swaths of ground, and they use urban renewal to pay interest on the note, so you're not leveraging as many taxpayer funds and doing as much bonding and tying up your debt limit. So there's several ways that you can several ways that you can approach it.
Okay, that's all I have.
Plus, I think the SCDC will come to the city when we want to buy land, because we're gonna need help with the infrastructure. So it's still gonna be a conversation piece before we
It is.
move on it.
Yeah.
To me, it just seems like it simplifies things a little bit on the SCDC side. Makes it less complicated.
Yeah.
Sam, you had commented to me this morning in our coffee time about it moves it from a parent-child relation to more of a parent, equal partner relationship. Is that how you put it?
I would say more of a sibling relationship, with the city being the older sibling, but I didn't want to use the term big brother, right? So there's still accountability that goes with it. There's one thing,
Yeah.
There's one thing I'm glad we're reviewing this, because this is a wordy resolution, and I just found a word in it, and I'm the one that typed it, so this is my fault. But number 3 under the therefore be it resolved says the following: the reimbursement arrangement of paying back to the city proceeds beyond $18,125 an acre is now voided. What it should say is the reimbursement arrangement of paying back to the city the proceeds of $18,125 an acre is now voided, because you wouldn't be paying back anything. So that's Sam's mistake. But if you adopt this, the beyond needs to be changed to an of. I don't know, Micah, if you agree with that, but that's what I meant to say.
No, you can still change the resolution.
Okay. But if you're reading what I wrote, I'm correct that if we leave the beyond in there, then the 18,125 still we'd still have to be paid back.
Of would be a better preposition for the context.
All right. Any further comments from the council? Well, we know we're still in public hearing, right? Is there anything else from the floor, first of all? Then we need a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Support. Okay. Roll call on that.
Snyder?
Aye.
Hamel?
Aye.
Eggers?
Aye.
Hint?
Aye.
Ostra?
Aye.
So the hearing has involved some discussion. So is there any further discussion at the council level? Hearing none. then, do you want to move this down the road to approve the resolution, or can we do that at this time?
You can do it.
Yeah.
If you feel comfortable with it. It's been on a couple of agendas.
Sam has mentioned the one small change in that item 3. Are you, as council, are you ready to vote on this, or do we need to let this simmer a little longer before we approve it?
So I have one question. When you talk about repaying land back for 125 an acre, what land are we all talking about? Anything that the SCDC has for sale?
That'd be,
So does this relate to the lots we were talking about in the earlier item on the agenda?
that's a valid point. You could exempt that.
Does it
That's a
talk
good
about
point.
the,
Yeah.
the north crossing? So I mean,
You are allowing, I'm sorry, go ahead.
so if we approve this, we're saying the SCDC doesn't have to pay the city back, correct? On any future land sales?
That is correct. It's removed from their balance sheets. And they're allowed to keep they're allowed to either sell for full price and keep the money, or they're allowed to give everything away, subject to the 2 council members that are on the board.
So we could approve this document tonight, and the SCDC tomorrow could sell those lots for $1, and is there anything the city can do?
Now, if it's your intent to have a voice on those 7 lots, then you would want to table this resolution until after that discussion
Okay,
is held.
the question I'm asking.
Okay?
So, we didn't want to sell the lots for $1, if we approve this, we're giving the SCDC the go-ahead to sell those lots for $1, correct?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Given that, then we have no choice but to table it.
Well, you do have a choice. It comes down to,
Not if we've tabled the other one.
right, if you want to have a voice in the other 7 lots, then you would need to table it. But,
I think we need to table it.
okay?
I think it's been around quite a bit.
So, based on the previous action we took tabling the other, I think this has to follow until that's resolved. So, I will take a motion to table this resolution.
I make a motion.
We have support.
Support.
Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Hamel.
Aye.
Snyder.
Aye.
Ostrop.
Aye.
Eggers.
Aye.
Kent.
Aye.
All right. Let's move on to new business. Item 6A. We have a resolution approving the appointment of Eric Monike as the Chief of Police.
So moved?
Support.
Discussion. Roll call, please.
Eggers.
Aye.
Kent.
Aye.
Snyder.
Aye.
Ostrop.
Aye.
Hamel.
Aye.
Next item there is a resolution approving the agreement with Kaler Consulting to assist with police officer and sergeant vacancy. Yes.
I should explain this if I can,
Yes,
Mayor.
please.
So, Jeff Kaler would not be helping us with the posting in the applications and all of that. That's something that Chief and I are already working on. This would be because the post test, which includes the psychological and that type of thing, has to be administered by someone who is certified to be able to administer those tests, and we currently do not have anybody in the department that's certified to administer it, correct? And so this would help with that. Did I explain that right? Okay.
Okay. So with that information, we need a motion to approve that resolution.
So move.
Support.
Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Eggers.
Aye.
Kent.
Aye.
Hamel.
Aye.
Ostrop.
Aye.
Snyder.
All right.
All right, moving on then to the reports section of our meeting. Nicole, there you are. You have a report from the library for us, I believe.
I'm going to move this down a little bit. I'm a little short. Okay, well, thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. I'd like to come and give you a little update on our annual report. I just finished that for the State Library of Iowa, so I'd like to give you a little update on our statistics. I realized I didn't really give you last year's statistics to compare, so I'll do that a little bit. I did mention that our circulation has increased from 14%. So that's just our total number of checkouts that we have. But I was looking at our visits, and I was looking at our Wi-Fi sessions. They were up 57%. So that's the number of people who are coming in and actually using our wireless. And another area of interest, I thought, was our attendance in our programs. They were up 51%. We actually had less programs, live programs. We only had 202 programs because of, we only have a part-time children's librarian. As you know, I'm the only full-time person there. That hasn't changed in the past 7.5 years that I've been there. However, we're still able to do 202 live programs. And last year we had 2,854 people in attendance. This year we had over 4,000.
Wow.
Now, you guys inspired me while you were talking about all of your math up here, so I decided to do a little bit of math of my own. I did cheat and use a calculator. I was figuring out, well, what, is the cost of that per program? I figured out our entire budget for our programs, not including what the Noon Kiwanis gives us for our summer programming, is only about $2,000. That means we're spending about $10 per program, or 47 cents per child to do our programming. That includes bringing in presenters for our summer reading, our makerspace programs, our Lego programs, all of our adult programs. So, we talk a lot about putting families first in Sheldon. The Sheldon Public Library is putting families first. We are putting children first by doing things like our 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten program. That was a grant that we had. Our summer library program, where we're bringing children in to learn not only how to read, but to keep them from losing their reading during the summer. That way when they go back to school, they'll continue to keep reading and stay on level. You can see on the second page, we're looking at grants. You can see we brought in almost $6,000 this year in grants. One of the things is the Hotspot Connectivity Fund that we were able to get from the Federal Emergency Connectivity Fund. That was actually paid directly to T-Mobile, so you might not have seen that come through our city funding sources. Those connectivity funds are allowing people to get internet at home so they can do things like apply for jobs, do homework, and look up medical information. We also got an early childhood sensory table. That was $518. And what that does is it allows kids to manipulate different items and learn through their senses. And then, of course, my favorite thing, I'm a little, I really like this. We got a Spanish collection and sign for $3,800. We're bringing in not only Spanish people to use that, but also English-speaking people to learn how to speak Spanish. We also have been working with Maintainer. They've been bringing in a group of people to learn about libraries. A lot of Hispanic people that are moving to Sheldon don't actually understand what libraries are or how to use them. They're learning English, and so they're also checking out English books. We also have things on becoming citizens, so that's very interesting as well. So people are actually learning how to become citizens by using the library. If we go back to website visits, those were up 25%. and that's just how many people actually visited the Sheldon Public Library website. On our website, we actually have a virtual tour as well. That was paid by our foundation. When I talk about people also, I don't have it on here, coming in and using the computers. One thing that they're doing is also using our online newspapers to do research. We also have a homework help that kids can tutor to get help with their homework. So again, we're putting families first, doing that as well. I think that's about all I had for my updates for you. What questions do you have for me?
What do you attribute that growth in terms of visits? You were up considerably over last year. Is it a combination of things, or can you speak to something specific that's bringing more people in?
Sure. So as you know, a few years ago, we got a counter put in. So that is not the number of estimates, that's the actual number of people who are coming in. We have a community, well, we call it a community room. We also have a study room, and people are using those spaces. People like the Village, Northwest, people like Hope Haven, as well as just people who are wanting maybe to do family visits. So they might have a parent that needs to be that wants to visit with their child, but they need to have a social worker with them. We have a parenting group that comes in on Fridays. I think maybe they switched to Mondays now, but we have them come in about once a week. The increase in programs. So we just have people using the library in a variety of ways that you might not necessarily think of. So when we talk about being the heart of the community, we're really becoming more of a community space. So you think, well, you know, your circulation has gone up only 14%, but your door count has gone up considerably. So you can see. Another thing is that newspaper prices have really gone up. So we're seeing a lot of increase in our newspaper prices, or in our newspaper usage as well.
All right. Anyone else? Questions for Nicole?
Yeah.
Sounds very
Thank you.
promising.
Great increase.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it, Nicole. Thank you. All right, Sam, do you have anything else you want to report on?
We have the second introduction of the capital improvements plans that are all linked. Regarding the airport, we do have Jason from Beck, or Todd or I could also try to answer your questions if you have anything on that. That's coming to the airport commission next Tuesday. Is there anything you wanted to say on the airport CIP since you're here?
Good evening. Not really in particular, Sam. Just wanted to address any questions if there were any. Other than, as Sam mentioned, we'll go to the airport board or airport commission next Tuesday and then send it off to the Iowa DOT Department of Aviation and the FAA for review.
Are there any questions today regarding that?
No.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Mind if I move into my city manager's report?
Yes.
My regular report, I don't have anything to add. I can stand for questions if you have anything on that. If not, I'll move into the HR request for proposals.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got the HR services request for proposals, and so a few of you have helped me with this. Tom and Chantel have been particularly helpful in reviewing this. So putting this in front of you, this is something that right now our HR is typically handled by Angie and I, and with Mike as assistants, and then also at times we have the employee assistance program that helps us, but I think having a HR individual or firm that can assist us, I think would be helpful for all of us. So that's part of what's behind that. It's the same concept as when we hired Steve Halgren to help with our code enforcement and our zoning. It freed up a fair amount of bandwidth and allowed us to accomplish a lot more. So if there isn't any concern or additional feedback on that, I'll have Micah review it, and then subject to his review, then I would go ahead and ship it out and involve one or two of you in the interview process and bring forward a proposal. Any questions on that? Okay. Next item is just to put in front of you is something that has become a topic amongst me and my some fellow city managers across the state, and that's the draft line of duty draft line of duty fatality policy. It doesn't apply just to only to emergency services. It can apply to any city employee who loses their life in the line of duty. This is something that we could put on the new HR person for review, but it's something I just wanted to put in front of you, and I drafted this based on other policies I had seen from around the state. Last item is the records request policy. It's dated October 2019, the same date as the city council meeting, but it wasn't ever officially approved. We've been using it from time to time. Doesn't come into play very often, but with recent legislative changes over the last few years, it's something that needs to be updated. So Angie and I are working with Micah to update that policy, and that will require council approval when the time comes. Just wanted to give you a heads up. Last thing, which is under your items, is New Year's Day and the budget workshops. So the budget workshops would be January 1 and 21 and 22. We could have it the following week. Angie and I were talking about it yesterday, but you still prefer the 21st and 22nd?
I don't have a preference.
You don't have a preference. So we don't have to decide that tonight, but the 21st and 22nd of January right now is when I have the budget hearings scheduled. We could do it the following week. So please look at your calendars and let me know. The first Wednesday in January is New Year's Day, so we would need to reschedule that or cancel the January 1 council meeting. Again, we don't need to decide that tonight, but we should decide it soon. That's all I have.
Given that there are 5 Wednesdays in January, I guess I would consider looking at the 8th and the 22nd possibly.
Okay.
Does that work?
If you did the 8th and the 22nd, then you probably wouldn't want to have budget hearings on the 21st and 22nd.
That's true.
So then you'd want to put budget hearings to the following week. But that would work. If you want to check your calendars, and
Yeah, just kind of.
we'll circle back with all of you in the next week or so and sort it out.
The 8th, that'd have to be done by 6, because that's usually our annual landfill board meeting, second Wednesday of the month. They start earlier because that's the annual meeting.
Yeah, we should be able to be done by 6 with the first meeting of the year.
So what you're saying is right now to look at the 28th and 29th of January for budget meetings.
The other option would be to skip that first meeting. I don't know if you've ever done that. I don't know if that's wise, but it wasn't my idea. It's just what's on the paper here.
Right.
What are your thoughts on skipping the first one?
How many people are going to be gone on the second?
I would have to have like email approval for claims. That would be the biggest thing. We do it with boards and commissions when they don't meet, so.
Okay. So that's another possibility that you can put in your hopper as you're thinking about this. Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay. Todd, anything from you today?
Yeah, just a couple of quick things. Angie and I continue to work with FEMA and Homeland Security on our claims from the flooding this summer. Things are going well. Matter of fact, I think we're down to maybe just 1 or 2 documents that need to be submitted. And then we can start looking at the projects and coming up with a total. We don't have a total to share with you today, but it will be several $100,000. Equipment, I just wanted to say thanks for you guys to continue supporting equipment purchases that we have. I don't know if I told you this or not, but this summer we did take new delivery on our new front end loader snow blower.
We'll probably never need to use it, and that's okay, but we have it just in case. And then we also took delivery about 6 weeks ago on our new sewer jetting machine. Guys have had that out and using it, and it's quite an upgrade over our 30-plus-year-old model that we had before. So it's got a lot of safety features that we didn't have before and a lot of conveniences that we didn't have before, so appreciate that. Oak Street is very, very close to completion. It looks a little tough right now, but scheduled, Landon and I from Beck are scheduled to do a final walkthrough potentially later this week, if not early next week. They, by contract, are supposed to be done Friday, November 8th, and it looks like they'll make that. And then lastly, there's a big chunk of letters about to leave city office, about 1,800 of them, for the lead service line inventory that we've been working on. We had to submit that to DNR and EPA on October 16th, which we did. An acceptable answer as part of that was unknown. There are a large amount of unknowns there, probably about 1,700 of them. So the letters going out, we will tell people, we've confirmed you got a lead service line, and these are the things that you should know about a lead service line, and recommends replacement. There's another letter that'll go out that'll tell people you have a galvanized service line, and it's recommended you replace that too because it was upstream or downstream of a known lead line. And then the last one that'll go out says, we don't know what you have for a service line yet, and we really, really need your help so we don't have to knock on doors. So it'll give you information on how to contact us, set up an appointment with us, or simply snap a picture on your cell phone and send it to an email with your address, and then we can go ahead and input it from there. That's a requirement of EPA and DNR, so those are going out. Did they go out today, Andrew? They're going out tomorrow. Yeah, so big thanks to the office staff for helping through that. It's an undertaking to get those mailings out. We're going to follow that up again then next week with another letter, trying to be the squeaky wheel here to get responses from people, because like I said, we still need about 1,750-ish responses. So we're going to follow that up with another letter. That letter is not required by the EPA and DNR, but it allows us to put more descriptive information in it. We're actually including a picture showing people, the water meter and the service line coming into the home and what we need to see in the picture in case they can't identify the material on their own. And as always, call us, and we'll gladly come to the home and get the data ourselves. So that is going to be quite an undertaking. It is important that we continue to plug away at it. We'll be required to send out another letter to the unknowns next June before July 1. So we really want to start getting that number lower so that we don't continue to have to send out that many letters. EPA will never accept unknown as an answer for an extended period of time. And it's our understanding that there's an initiative out there that by 2037, all lead and all galvanized need to be removed. So anyways, as people receive those letters, if they could help us out and snap us a picture or call us up for an appointment, that would be appreciated.
Okay, thanks, Todd. Tanya, anything from you?
I would just like to take a moment to say thank you for the discussion today. On behalf of the SEDC, we do take the community's input into consideration. So I just quickly want to say thank you to everyone who was a part of the discussion today for both of our agenda items. I do also want to say thank you to everyone in the community who purchased Merry Money yesterday. That was a great success. We did sell out before 3 p.m., so that is very exciting, and we are seeing that be used already right away. So thank you to everyone.
What was the dollar amount?
$150,000, same as last year, with a $2,000 limit per household. So thank you.
All spent locally.
Yes, so we are encouraging people to spend locally with that. There are about 34 participating businesses all around Sheldon, and that includes grocery stores, retailers. We've also even had auto shops on it, so it's just a great mix, and we are very excited that that sold out and that during this holiday season, people are shopping locally.
Very good. Anything else?
That is all. Thank you.
Eric, anything else? Anything from you today?
I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for trusting me to
Nicole, I'm assuming you don't have anything further based on your report from earlier?
No, I just wanted to thank the council for their continued support of the library, and I don't think I officially ever thanked you for the additional money that you gave the library for the funding of the book budget last year. That has come in very handy, and it's very appreciated by both us and
All right, very good. Angie?
No, nothing.
Micah?
No, Mayor.
Council to my left, anything from you?
Congratulations, Eric.
Yeah. I also would like to at least acknowledge the people that called in and voted for our water tower. We did get on their calendar, so it's not a big deal, but it's kind of fun.
I'm pretty excited about
Yeah.
So do we get the December slot then, because we're 12th, or what?
I actually don't know what.
Okay, okay.
The paper said you ordered 2 calendars?
Yeah.
Is that right? Do I get one, or who gets that second one?
How do you get a
I'll go
calendar?
on the website and order one.
I think you need to order one for a lot of people.
See if I can get that one.
All right. Anything else over here?
No.
Okay, council to my right, anything from you guys, either of you?
Just congratulations, Derek.
Yeah.
And I have
Nothing
nothing
else.
further either, so.
Motion to adjourn.
Support.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
Aye.
Snyder?
Aye.
Hamel?
Aye.
Ostra?
Aye.
Eggers?
Aye.